The air on 1240 AM, 102.7 FM KBIZ, and a live video stream, which if you have not accessed it yet and you want to watch tonight's Ottumwa Little League City Championship game, just click on over to ottumwaradiosports.com. You'll see the direct link to the live video stream. Pardon me, Jason Van Arkel with you tonight as we get ready for the finale for 2019 for Ottumwa Little League, the City Championship game. The Packwood Ramblers and the Vaughn Automotive Cubs playing for the title. It does not seem like we were over at the Fields by Bridgeview 2 months ago doing opening day, having to wait an extra day because of the rain and having to do the triple header on the Sunday instead of the Saturday. And it's hard to believe that we've already played through 2 months and we're winding up the season right now. I am joined tonight by a man who, quite honestly, I thought, and I hate to bring up maybe a sore subject, Sam Long, but I thought you'd be managing in this championship game. After seeing your team play on opening day, your Mets were dominant, but these Packwood Ramblers kind of got you a little bit last week, and I'm appreciative of the company, certainly, but how I do have to ask you, and then I'll leave it alone, how hard is it to sit up here with the Mets hat on and not be able to manage in this game?
Oh, it's tough. It's tough, Jason. I was so looking forward to this. TJ and I are really good friends. We've been friends for years. Coach travel ball together. Nothing's more fun than getting to play against him, and especially on a big stage like this, getting the chance. But you know what? Our team came out okay that night. We had a lot of errors. We picked a bad night to have our worst defensive game of the season, and Packwood hit the ball well against us.
So it sets up an interesting matchup tonight because basically instead of two in-town teams, you've got TJ Heller's Cubs and these kids from Packwood who've shown through pretty well this season, and you have first-hand experience playing them both. So talk about this Packwood team a little bit. What do they bring to the table?
Packwood's got a good top half of the lineup's really strong hitting. Their pitching's excellent. Tatum Telfer plays not only for the Packwood team but also for the Ottumwa Titans. Just a good solid pitcher, a good lefty, a big lefty. And is really good with mixing up the pitches, moving his speeds. He's going to show you a fastball, a changeup, a curveball, and a knuckleball tonight. So, he's at his best when he's mixing it up and doing those little things. Defense is solid all the way around for Packwood. They made some good plays against us in the semifinals. I look for them to give the Cubs a good run for their money tonight. And
Tatum Telfer, as you mentioned, the pitcher, he's got a little moxie to him, too. I was down the line talking to TJ Heller while the AAA championship game was going on. Tatum came right over to TJ and said, watch this no-hitter I'm going to throw tonight. So,
oh, yeah.
So he's got a little moxie to him. Now, obviously, as you said, you know TJ and you know his Cub team very well. You went up against them more than once this season. Talk about what TJ's team is like.
TJ's team's a hitting machine. They're big. They're thick. The boys can hit, and they can hit top to bottom. He's coming out right now with four boys off the Ottumwa Titans AAA All-Star or AAA State Championship team from last year. He's got a great lefty in Nehemiah Wolfing, good velocity, left-handed, just that tough arm angle, great kid, catching behind the plate, Camineri. Kid's got a hose. I mean, it's all night long for him. Great defensive catcher. They just bring it from all the positions. Nolan Heller at first base has probably got the quickest hands in the league by far. They just bring it all the way around. Their defense is solid top to bottom. Harley Barnt over at shortstop is going to be one of the fastest kids you see tonight. Just top to bottom, they bring it, and they do it as a group. Their pitching staff, I think TJ said every kid on the team has pitched this year, and he's ran a good solid rotation of 6 pitchers this year. So when you can mix it up like that, it just makes for a really good team, and you're just not relying on those horses. So 16-1, he's definitely showed what he can do.
And if you're watching on the live video stream right now, you're seeing the Cubs warm up in the field. Manager TJ Heller hitting the fungos to the infield. Now, we are starting a little bit late tonight because we had a high-scoring, entertaining game in the AAA championship game, which the Lugnuts finally prevailed over the Pirates 11-7. And for those who aren't familiar, we talked about this on opening day, and we did the Lugnuts and the River Dogs on opening day, so we got to see the Lugnuts play and win on the first day of the season and today on the last day of the season. But talk about what that AAA opportunity is for those kids who maybe haven't quite developed their game enough to be on a majors roster yet.
You know, when we brought when we brought National and Midwest Little Leagues together, we wanted to come up with a concept of how do we get all the kids playing, and we looked at the traditional, the majors only groups, and we found that there was a group of kids that they weren't getting the opportunities that the other kids got. They weren't quite as physically developed yet. They may love baseball, but just not born with some of the God-given gifts that some of these other boys have. And so they were getting stuck in the outfield and not playing as much. We put together AAA this year, or last year. It was really successful. It got more kids playing shortstop, first base, getting to pitch, getting to catch, play those fun positions that keep kids involved in baseball. And I'll tell you, this year was even more exciting. Last year was good. This year was great. Talking to the Lug Nuts coach, I asked him, I said, how competitive was the league this year? And when he got done, he said, we only had 3 games that we won by more than 3 runs. So 1-run games all over the place, really competitive. Every game for it I've had a chance to get to the AAAs have been competitive. Kids are having fun, getting to play those positions. I mean, it's just been great for us, and we're really looking forward to just keeping around and expanding it as the years go on.
And the Lugnuts did win the championship game over the Pirates 11-7, so more than a 3-run deficit, or a 3-run difference, a 4-run difference, but that was 3 runs in the final inning. That game was back and forth. The Pirates had a 3-1 lead after an inning. The Lugnuts went up 8-4. Pirates cut it to 8-7 going to the final inning. Lugnuts put a few more runs on the board, put it away, and the Pirates were really aggressive on the base paths. It helped them early, and it ended up hurting them a little bit late, and that might have been the difference in the ball game. But a very entertaining ball game, and just watching the game, you wouldn't have said, "Oh, these kids aren't as good." Those kids were into it. They were having fun. They were playing hard, and they're playing well, and it was fun to watch.
Oh yeah, AAA's been great baseball this year, and the best part is these kids are getting that chance to develop, and so after this year they develop and get those positions. They come back next season, try out for majors. And they're playing on a major team next year and contributing on a major team right out of the gate. So it's been great for us. It's been even better for the kids. And in Ottumwa Little League, we just love it. I mean, this year, Jay Waukee jumped in, brought in 2 teams. He felt it was the right thing to bring in 2 more kids. But
well, we are just about ready to begin our Majors Championship game between the Packwood Ramblers and the Vaughn Automotive Cubs. And leading off for Packwood is the catcher, Henry Adam. Right-handed hitter, kind of crowds the plate a little bit. And the first pitch is swung on and missed for strike 1. It is a warm night, 7:47, our official first pitch time. Not too bad, especially when you consider we had an 11-7 AAA championship game. A lot of runs means a longer game. 0-1 to Adam. The next offering hit high in the air down the left field line. That ball is deep, and it is rolling all the way to the fence. Adam around second. He's thinking 3. The relay throw will not be made, and that is a leadoff triple for Henry Adam and the Ramblers from Packwood.
Nice solid hit from Mr. Adams. He was a tough out in our semifinal game. I think he went 3 for 3 against us. He's a difficult out all night long.
And that brings up the first baseman, Will Adam. Tall right-handed batter, takes a pitch down low, ball 1. Didn't even get a chance to tell you what Packwood head coach Calder Bender had to say about Henry Adam. He's got him a catcher, says he can play anywhere. He's the best raw 10-year-old talent he's seen. And here's a roller first base side. That'll get a run home, fielded by Heller. He'll throw home after stepping on first, not in time. The Cubs record the out, but Will Adam drives in Henry Adam, and Packwood leads it 1-0. So an RBI for Will Adam, who, according to his coach Calder Bender, his manager I should say, can play all infield spots, sees the ball well. That time he did what was required of him to drive the run home from third with less than 2 out. Now the left-handed batting pitcher, Tatum Telfer, and the first pitch misses outside. Ball 1. Telfer described to us a solid pitcher with stamina, great hitter, can play any spot. It's true of a lot of players at this level. That pitch low and away in the count, 2-0. I would imagine, Sam, at this level, kids, some kids may be starting to lock into a position, but nobody's really fully locked into one position they're going to play their whole lives.
No.
We'll get to that in a moment. Ground ball to second, fielded cleanly by Johnston. Throw to first in time, 2 down. Go ahead, Sam.
No, at this age, you're just looking to develop a kid. As they get towards that 12-year-old year, you're finding those spots that they're going to probably play for the near future as they go on to high school. But right now, at Little League, you're 10 and 11-year-olds. You're slotting them in wherever you can, looking for that development.
That brings up the third baseman, Caden Bender, a swing and a miss, strike 1. Bender, great third baseman, can play anywhere and will crush the ball if he hits it. Already seen 1 ball crushed for a triple, and Packwood has an early lead. Check swing, appeal, and no swing, and the count even at a ball and a strike. Nehemiah Wolfing on the mound, the lefty for the Cubs. We haven't had a chance to set their defense yet. We will after this pitch, perhaps. It's inside 2-1. In the outfield for the Cubs, you have Keaton Hilliard in left, William Hilliard in center, Aiden Robinson in right, as this pitch is grounded. Third base side picked cleanly over there by Harden to throw to first in time, and the inning is over. Packwood gets a run on a hit, nobody left, and after half an inning, Packwood, the Ramblers, won. The Cubs are coming up, and we do want to remind you that our broadcast tonight is sponsored by JBS, making your world stronger. And also we did mention that the Cubs are sponsored by Vaughn Automotive. They are located at 1311 Vaughn Drive in Ottumwa. So we never really had, let's run down the rest of that Cubs defense before we get to the bottom of the first inning. We gave you the outfield. The infield, that was, I need to learn to read my own writing. It was Luke Thompson at third, who made the nice play to end the inning. Harley Barnt is the shortstop. Second baseman, Griffin Johnston. The first baseman, Nolan Heller, and Cam Maneri. I knew I was going to do that. I even asked TJ beforehand, and then I got the other version stuck in my head. Cam Maneri is the catcher. Now Packwood taking the field, and their big lefty, as we talked about in the pregame, Tatum Telfer. The defense behind him finds Lathan Fritchen in left, Gannon Griner in center, Robert Brown in right. Caden Bender at third. The shortstop is Carson Saboski. At second base, Dylan Lisk. The first baseman is Will Adam, the catcher Henry Adam. And again with Tatum Telfer on the mound. So, Sam, and we'll try to talk about a few things over the course of the ball game tonight. I know one of the big challenges for anybody playing sports this spring was the weather. You guys had to deal with rain, muddy fields all the time. Just looking down the posts on your Facebook page, so many nights that you guys had to cancel or move games around. How hard was that to adjust? And it would seem like, though, the kids handled it pretty well.
Oh, it was a challenge. Having two facilities, one behind the Bridgeview, one here, we could move some games around, get things going. But all in all, the coaches and everybody worked together really well to just keep the season moving and get us to where we are today.
Nehemiah Wolfing will lead it off and hits a little floater over second. That'll get into center field for a leadoff single. Well, Wolfing not tripling to lead off like Packwood did, but the Cubs have a base runner on. Got a long list of stuff to tell you about Nehemiah Wolfing, and swinging at the first pitch didn't give me a chance to get to any of it. But here's Cam Maneri. They call him Cambino. Tall right-handed batter. Catching for the Cubs today, lefty to righty. The pitch is outside, ball one. Cam is a four-time All-Star, plays catcher, he pitches, plays first base. Cannon for an arm, Sam mentioned that. He's on the Ottumwa Titans. His favorite major league team is the New York Yankees. We got to get TJ to do something about that. That pitch outside, and it is 2-0. Although his favorite player is Aaron Judge. I can't fault him for liking Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is a good guy.
No, not at all. That if you're going to like a guy, like a big guy that can hit a ball a long way.
There's a little roller past the mound. Over to get it is the third baseman. Throw to first, and it gets away down the line. Runners headed to second and third. Wolfing will stop at third as Packwood gets it back in quickly, but the Cubs in business, second and third, and nobody out after the throwing error committed by the third baseman Bender. Would have been a bang-bang play at first, might have rushed it a little bit. That brings up first baseman Nolan Heller. First pitch on the way. Up high, ball one. Now I've got every player for the Cubs. I got their favorite MLB team on here. Nolan's is the St. Louis Cardinals. Does that hurt TJ's soul a little bit?
I don't know where he got it from, honestly, Jason. His dad's a big Cubs fan. I just don't know where that happened. But you better watch out for this kid right here. Fastest hands in the league. This kid's got the ability to take one out and put one off the left field fence or off a windshield out there in a heartbeat.
You know, I didn't park out there for a reason. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and there's a shot off the hands. Bobbled by the shortstop. Pick it up, throw to first. Not in time. Run scores. Game tied at 1. And it'll have to go down as an error on Saboski. It's still an RBI either way, as Wolfing would have scored regardless. The Cubs now have runners at the corners, and still nobody out for the center fielder, William Hilliard. Now, he's a Cubs fan, left-handed batter. First pitch in there for a strike from Telfer, 0-1. Hilliard, a three-time All-Star, plays right in center field and pitches. Favorite food, pizza. Favorite music, rap, 12 years old. Yeah, that fits. Lefty to lefty, and a swing and a miss. Count is 0-2 on William Hilliard. And Heller took second base. So now 0-2 to the Cubs center fielder, and a foul back. A little bit of a late swing that time by Hilliard. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. For the Cubs, we've had a single and back-to-back errors on ground balls. One a throwing error, one a fielding error. That's erased the Packwood lead. We're tied at 1, and the Cubs looking to go in front. The pitch, fouled back again, just did get a piece. Is a lefty-lefty matchup as tough at this level as it is when you get into high school and college?
No, I really don't think so, Jason. I think these guys, especially at the 46-foot distance at Little League, they just don't have time to get that true lefty-lefty distance.
And a roller up the middle past the diving second baseman into center base hit. 1 run scores. Throw comes all the way to the plate. And alertly, Hilliard takes second. He's got an RBI single. Goes to second on the throw. Maneri scores from third. Heller stops at third. And the Cubs have a 2-1 lead. That ball just out of the reach of Dylan Lisk at second. First pitch into Griffin Johnston is high for ball 1. Johnston, another 4-time All-Star. They call him Crime Dog. Excellent defensive second baseman. Plays travel ball for Flying Squirrels Blue. That pitch up high, got off the catcher's mitt. And it went to the backstop, but when the Cubs nearly ran themselves into some trouble there, Heller decided he couldn't score, and Hilliard behind him was 3/4 of the way to third, had to put on the brakes and hustle back. There's not a lot of room at all behind home plate, folks. A wild pitch will move runners to second and third, but it's going to have to bounce away for someone to score. The next offering fouled straight back. And the count 2-1 on Johnston. Outfield pretty much straight away for Packwood. The left fielder Fritchen playing a little bit deeper. The right fielder Brown a little shallower, and he's over towards the line a little bit. Ground ball back to the mound. They're going to throw home. They'll have a play at the plate, and Hellier's trying to dance around. He's going back to third. They flip it back to third, and safe at third, and everybody's safe.
That was craziness, Jason.
I don't think I've ever seen that at any level.
He was in the third base batter's box, 2 feet from home plate, stopped on a dime, and ran back to third. That's just incredible.
And somehow avoided the tag, the attempted tag by Henry Adam, tried to tag him a few times. Now here's Harley Barnt, the shortstop, a big swing and a foul back, 0-1. Harley Bird, as they call him, another 4-time All-Star. TJ says he's an all-around great player. Can play anywhere defensively, dangerous on the bases. He is a Dodger fan. As this pitch is popped up, infield fly, batter is out, and the catch is made by the shortstop Savasky, and that is finally, for Packwood, their first out recorded here in the bottom of the first inning. That brings up the right fielder, Aiden Robinson. Call him Speedy. He's been an all-star, reliable glove. The Cardinal fan, but also a Mike Trout fan. Again, like a big guy who can hit the ball a long way.
Big A was a great player on our 10-year-old state team last year. Made a couple of really good plays in those late games against Centerville when we played him back-to-back. Made a game-winning catch against the right field fence to get us back around to have to play Centerville again the next night.
So he is certainly familiar with the pressure of a championship-type game. That pitch right in there for a strike, 2-1. To Robinson. Base is now full of Cubs and 1 out. And the pitch from Telfer, a little bit high. 3-1, and one more pitch out of the zone would add another run to the Cubs. They lead 2-1 here in the bottom of the first inning. Tatum's pitch, down and in, ball 4. Heller started to sprint home and then realized, wait, that's ball 4. I don't have to sprint home on that one. And now the Cubs lead 3-1. They've cashed in both of the errors in this inning. An RBI for Robinson. That brings up the number 8 hitter, Keaton Hilliard. Keaton's been an all-star. He's the only 10-year-old on the team. As he takes strike 1. Favorite player, Babe Ruth. Now that's the original big guy who can hit the ball a long way. That's the OG, as the kids might say. Yes, I'm old and I shouldn't be saying that. Bunted back towards the mound. They got a force play at the plate and they recorded for out number 2.
Nice job. Good heads-up play by Telfer. Had plenty of time. Took advantage of the situation. Made the play at home. Catcher maybe had a little bit of time. Could have looked to first, but it would have been a bang-bang play if he had a chance at that one.
An interesting decision to bunt there. A better bunt probably gets the job done, but that one rolled right back to the pitcher. So now the number 9 hitter, Luke Thompson. Another right-handed batter, chokes up just a little bit. First pitch, lifted in the air, foul off to the right. That will get out of play for strike one. Luke Dog, as they call him. TJ says he seems to always find a way on base. Great contact hitter. And we're just continuing the theme here. Favorite player, Kyle Schwarber. These guys have all just picked out the big sluggers. That pitch misses for ball one.
Everybody loves the long ball, Jason. Everybody loves those guys that can just mash it. Not too many guys are looking at guys like D. Gordon or, the slap
Jose
hitters.
Altuve.
Yeah.
1 ball, 1 strike. Check swing, pitches outside, 2-1 to Thompson. What else can we tell you about Luke here?
Luke played for me in Pee Wee. He's one of my favorite kids I've ever coached. He sees the game at a level that just most kids his age don't even have a chance at.
Ground ball, a nice sliding stop. Sorry, Sam, by the second baseman. Lisk, he'll step on the bag, and that retires the side. The Cubs get 3 runs on 2 hits. There were 2 errors and 3 men left on base. After an inning, Cubs 3, and the Ramblers won the Ottumwa Little League City Championship game on 1240 AM, 102.7 FM, KBIZ. And a live video stream as well. If you want to watch, it's on AttumwaRadioSports.com. Brought to you by JBS, making your world stronger. Sam Long, when we first started talking to you and TJ about broadcasting Ottumwa Little League games this year, you were not the league president. Since then, you've become the league president. That was I don't know if it was a sudden change, but it happened right before the season started. Difficult is a relative term, but how difficult was the transition, and how much have you had to kind of learn on the job throughout this season?
I've been involved with the league since I was 29. I'm 43 now, or 42 now, so I'm starting to. I've got a few years under my belt, but just the challenge of being on the outside now, having to be in the middle. Those phone calls I used to make now come to me, and they'll come at any time of the day and into the evening. So you've just got to be ready all the time to be able to think quick, make a new plan. But the best part about this is I've got a great set of volunteers around me, dedicated volunteers that have been here for years, and new volunteers coming in, and it's made the transition so easy. I mean, it's been pretty flawless all season. So.
We get ready for the top of the second inning. The shortstop, Carson Saboski, leads it off for Packwood, and he swings and misses at the pitch from Wolfing for strike one. Saboski, a hard-throwing speed demon. His head coach, his manager, Calder Bender, calls him easily coached. That's always a good thing for a coach to say about a kid, especially at this age. I would think that you would find that even for kids who have been playing Little League for a few years, get to 10, 11, 12 years old, there's still that bit of a little kid in them that sometimes is standing out in the field and all of a sudden they just kind of space off, and there's a swing and a miss, and the count goes to 1-2 on Saboski. But, these kids here, for the most part, they get pretty locked into baseball.
They are, but they're still kids. And you never know when it's going to be that night where they're going to be locked in and look like a major league player, or they're going to look like a 10-year-old.
Waiting the 1-2 pitch from Wolfing. Oh, over the head, and Saboski hits the dirt, 2-2.
They're kids, and some parents and some of the sometimes you get locked up in the moment, and you just forget that they are kids.
Swinging a foul at the plate, so Saboski stays alive at 2-2. Now, I've not had the experience of coaching Little League baseball. I have had the experience of coaching kids, coaching youth soccer, and different sport, but it's still the same thing. Kids are kids, and sometimes they look great, and sometimes I bet you get pretty frustrated, but you just got to stay the course.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You just have to have patience. The more you do it, the better you get at it. I mean, I've been doing this quite a while, and it's fun. And you're right, Jason. I mean, there's those nights where they look like they're just untouchable, and then there's nights where it's like herding cats. So you just never know with these guys.
3-2 pitch swing and a miss, strike three. A good battle between Saboski and Wolfing, but Wolfing wins this one. That's strikeout number 1 in the ballgame. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Lathan Fritchen. Fritchen, tall right-handed batter. Great arm, and ball has no chance if he gets a hold of it. Pitch is inside for ball 1. Now Fritchen, I don't know if this is by choice. It might be. I would actually guess it is. Pitches outside 2-0, but he seems to like the football number. He's got 65 on his back. maybe a future someday as an offensive lineman. Playing for Packwood might mean he's lining up for Pekin at offensive lineman a few years from now.
And he's a big boy to bring it. I mean, he's a good-sized kid for a 12-year-old.
Swing and a miss, might have chased one up and away there, 2-1. Beautiful evening, warm evening here in Ottumwa for this championship game. That pitch bounces in the dirt, and it is 3-1 to Fritchen. Feels like the first real day that it's been one of those summer sweaters, you know?
It has been warm today. It was gorgeous this morning, but boy, it heated up around noontime, and you're feeling it right now.
Pitch at the letters for strike 2. Or pardon me, that was up high for ball 3. I was a little backwards on the count there. 3-2. I got to 3-2, just no matter how we got there. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. And Fritchen might have chased another one there. He's out number 2. It's hard to lay off, you know. Wolfing's throwing hard, and even if your mind is trying to tell you that pitch is high, when you're loaded up to try to catch up to that heat, it's hard to lay off.
Well, and any good fastball looks so good coming out of a pitcher's hand, and he's been around the zone, so you've got to trust that, with the velocity he's throwing, that it's going to be somewhere around the plate.
Gannon Griner, the batter, a swing and a miss, strike 1. Griner is called the black hole of the infield, and that's a good term, although he's playing center field tonight. Great glove, good arm, will be a very good player. Checked his swing, called a strike, and he's down in the count 0-2. Wolfing trying to strike out the side. The pitch bounced in there, 1 ball, 2 strikes. To tell you, 84 degrees is our current temperature. Sky is partly cloudy, sun setting behind us to the west. 1-2 the count, and the pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, and Nehemiah Wolfing strikes out the side. Packwood goes in order after 1.5. The Cubs 3, the Ramblers 1. You're listening to, and if you're online watching the stream, you are watching the Ottumwa Little League City Championship game tonight. Brought to you by the Ottumwa Radio Sports Network. Again, the video stream at ottumwaradiosports.com. The radio broadcast, 1240 AM, 102.7 FM, KBIZ. Brought to you tonight by JBS, making your world stronger. One thing I'm curious about, Sam, is... And from the perspective of someone who's been covering high school sports for many years now, there's a lot of talk about a shortage of officials. I don't imagine that directly affects a Little League organization, but how hard is it to not only find but keep good umpires for the games that you guys have?
Oh, it's a challenge. It's a challenge every night of the week. We've been fortunate this year. We had a good group of guys that were really good and got together and just. We had guys for most of the nights of the week. At the major level, we were always covered. It's a challenge at the Pee Wee level as you're bringing in people that are willing to coach us, a little bit slower, younger kids, not as crisp as the major games. But this year our home plate umpire tonight, Tyler Clubb, started off in Pee Wee. He was going to be our lead Pee Wee umpire. We lost a major umpire early in the season, and he stepped in, developed a great zone, has been just as consistent as a clock. And just doing a great job every night of the week. And tonight, he got that opportunity. A first-year umpire getting a chance to do a city championship game just shows the development, even at the volunteer level over the season.
Well, he certainly had command of the plate tonight, both in the AAA game and now here in the Majors championship game. We mentioned it's 84 degrees, 91 is the heat index. And it wouldn't be so bad if the breeze would kick up a little bit, but it says southwest wind at 4 miles an hour, and I'm not even feeling that right now. So it's the kids are going to sweat tonight, and they'll barely notice, obviously. But,
oh yeah.
But those of us who now notice the heat and the humidity, we're feeling it.
Oh yeah. No, kids are kids. They'd play all day in this. It wouldn't bother them a bit.
Here's Wolfing to lead off the second. Bunsen fouls it for strike 1. Nehemiah singled and scored in the Cubs' 3-run first. The Cubs 3, the Ramblers 1. As the Cubs bat in the bottom of the second inning. TJ Heller calls Wolfing one of the fastest players in the city. Played travel ball for the Ottumwa Titans black. And then the favorite player, Nehemiah, is going to break the trend here. His favorite player, Javier Baez. Now, Javier will hit a lot of home runs, but he's not the big bulking slugger.
No, and a great glove. Just has that little bit of flair he brings to every play. A guy you just love to watch. You never know when he's going to give you a backhand or a glove flip or something like that, just to make the play a little bit more exciting.
2 balls and a strike. The pitch, that's in there for strike 2. You know, some people who are old school baseball people might frown on that. I love a little flair in the game. I love a little pizzazz. Javi's one of my favorite players, and you know, if a kid wants to emulate him, that's a good guy to emulate. He's going to make a lot of money over his career as Wolfing takes strike 3. Tatum Telfer paints the outside corner for his first strikeout. There's 1 down in the second. That will bring up Cam Maneri. Reached on an error and scored in the first inning. Pitch downstairs, ball 1. The Cubs batted around in the first, sent all 9 hitters to the plate. Probably feel like they should have had more. They left 3. Had a runner thrown out at the plate. It was a force play. He had to run. 1-0 to Maneri. Telfer into the wind. And the big lefty's pitch is on the outside corner for a called strike. I'm talking about the home plate ump and, you know, how good of a job he's done. We get a unique view sitting up here looking straight down. We can see whether that pitch is on the corner or not. And he's been very consistent all night.
Yeah, Tyler does an excellent job. He's really developed just a super consistent zone. And when you're getting compliments from other coaches about how good this umpire is that you're bringing to the games, that's great. That's great.
Swing and a miss. Maneri chased a high one there, and he's down on strikes for out number 2. Well, maybe the pitchers had a little bit of nerves in the first inning, but here in the second inning between the 2 teams, we've seen 5 batters. They've all 5 struck out. Here is Nolan Heller, reached on an error, drove in a run, and scored a run. Also stole a base in the first inning, did a little bit of everything, and he swings and misses strike 1, and we're seeing these batters start to chase the high heat again.
Telfer's started to mix up his pitches a little bit. The speeds have varied, and when he does that, he's really, really effective.
The 0-1, liner to right field. That's down for a base hit, and it gets by the right fielder, Brown. And Heller's going to run. Ball picked up at the fence. They missed the relay man. Heller's going to try for 3. The relay throw to third is not in time. They might have had him, but the throw pops out of the glove. And Heller's at third with 2 down. I think if we're going to be strict in the scoring, that'd be a double and then an error on the right fielder for missing the cutoff man.
I think you're fair with that assessment. He had a chance to get that play, hold him at second, but just got past him on that and rolled out to almost to the fence.
Pitch up and in to William Hillard for ball 1. Hillard had an RBI single in the first inning. Chance for another RBI hit, this time with 2 down, as Heller's at third. That's right down Broadway, evens a count at a ball and a strike.
Telfer's locked in here. I wouldn't be surprised 1-2 or 1-1, 1-2. He breaks out this knuckleball he's got. It doesn't have a lot of room to. There it is.
There it was, and it's lifted to left center field. Long run and not able to make the catch is Fritchen in left. Another run scores, and it is 4-1. And Sam, I'll ask you how you would score that one.
Oh, you E7 all the way. That was in his glove, hopped out, had a good chance. Long run. I mean, long run. It's going to be a tough play either way, especially at this age, but you just got to squeeze that. 2 hands.
Griffin Johnston, the batter, big swing and a miss by the Cubs' third baseman for strike 1. I'll tell you how locked in I've been on high school for 7 years. I keep wanting to call the Cubs the Bulldogs. They're not even wearing red. The Ramblers are. Pitch fouled back, and it's 0-2. The sun sets. I mean, it's a warm night, but this is a beautiful place to sit and watch a ball game. A beautiful night for it. Partly cloudy skies. 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Johnston gone on 3 pitches. And after a delay and a little dancing around, they tag him out, and the side is retired. So Telfer strikes out the side, but the Cubs get a run on a hit and a pair of errors. They leave one. And the Cubs lead 4-1 after 2 innings in the Ottumwa Little League City Championship game. Here on the Ottumwa Radio Sports Network, Jason Van Arkel and Sam Long on the microphones tonight. Corey Finch is our video producer here on site, and Kyle Smith is operating the controls back at the KBIZ studios. Our broadcast tonight brought to you by JBS, making your world stronger. And we've mentioned this before, we'll mention it again. The AAA championship game was played here before the Majors championship game, and that was won by the Lugnuts in a back-and-forth game. They beat the Pirates 11-7. Entertaining ball game that we were able to watch as we were setting up here, and As I said before, we got to see the Lugnuts play on opening day, and they won then. They carried that all the way through and won the championship game, and you could see how thrilled those kids were when the game ended.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, every kid loves that chance to win a championship. And you know, at the end of the game, you're, of course, we're moving between games pretty quick, so we had to get the teams off the field. But, just behind us in the crow's nest, they're over by the radio van right behind us, and they're hooping and hollering and getting their championship rings, and they're just excited. I don't care how old you are. Everybody loves to win something. And after a long season, 16-game regular season, a semifinals, finals, and you come out on top, you're loving it. It's the moment. You just got to have it.
Ready for the top of the third, and Nehemiah Wolfing's first pitch to Robert Brown is in there for a strike, 0-1. Brown checked his swing. It was a strike anyway. Brown said to have a strong arm. He's a speed demon, can throw the ball from the fence all the way to home and not even have it hop. That pitch in there for a strike, 0-2. And Brown was throwing from the fence and right on that ball hit by Heller, and maybe he didn't know his own strength on that throw. That pitch in the dirt, 1-2. You could see the strength on the throw just didn't quite connect with the cutoff man.
Wolfing's looked really good here in the last couple innings. He's really dominating on the outside corner of the plate.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. I think Brown was thinking the same thing you were,
yeah.
Sam, and Wolfing crossed him up, came inside. Fourth strikeout in a row for Wolfing, and out number 1 in the third. That brings up the number 9 hitter, Dylan Lisk, the second baseman. First pitch, late swing and a miss for strike 1. Lisk, good second baseman, and he is the most improved player on this Ramblers team. The 0-1. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Top of the third inning. Good to have you with us here on the Ottumwa Radio Sports Network. Proud to bring you the Ottumwa Little League City Championship game. It's hard to believe that it was almost 2 months ago to the day that we were doing our triple header opening day broadcast. That pitch chopped foul at the plate, 1-2.
Cold Sunday afternoon, I believe. We were, I think I hit the broadcast actually last night. I was watching the YouTube, and I think you said it was 54 degrees, but it felt like 50.
That's about what it was. And I was dressed a little differently than I am now. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's out number 2. 5 strikeouts in a row for Wolfing. I was just glad it had stopped raining because we were supposed to go on the Saturday, and that didn't happen, so we had to move some things around. A couple teams had to move around. And
no, you know what? We ended up having a great Sunday. It was chilly, but we had fun. JBS was there, helped supporting the league. 1,200 pork chops there for us to use to sell and bring that money back to the league. It was just, it ended up being an amazing day after a rotten Saturday, a rain. It just turned out to be just a great, great day for the league, the kids, and just a lot of fun to be had by everyone.
Pitch misses up and away, and Henry Adam, the leadoff hitter, standing in with 2 outs in the third. He's ahead in the count, 2-0. I remember I felt a little bad that day because we got moved from Saturday to Sunday. I think it was the Tigers and the Phillies we were supposed to have on the air, and then they couldn't play on the Sunday, as this pitch is low and away, 3-0. But by the same token, we got to do that AAA game with the Lugnuts and the River Dogs, and those kids were thrilled.
Oh, you to see the looks on their faces when they got that chance to be on the radio and then the live stream and then to hear them through the rest of the week about, I went home and watched myself. I got to see myself play. They were just so excited. They all thought they were famous because they were on YouTube and playing baseball.
Well, you know what? They were. They were because, whether you're playing at this age, whether you're playing on the AAA team, majors team, whether you're in this game or not, you don't know how high your athletic career is going to go. And my philosophy is, as this pitch is down and in to Will Adam, ball 1 after Henry Adam walked. My philosophy is you never know when the greatest moment in a kid's athletic life is going to come on a game that I happen to be broadcasting. So I'm going to, in my mind, these kids are famous. They are celebrities, and this is their moment right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for any kid, all we heard about during the week was who was going to be in the championship because they knew that game was going to be on TV and the radio. We've got a lot of grandparents that are watching. I know Luke Thompson's grandparents are watching from north of Des Moines. We've got grandparents on, just loving it, family members, getting a chance to listen to it on the radio. There might be a father, a mom, somebody at work, family member at work right now. They could be at their workstation right now with the radio popped in, listening to their player, just have their moment.
The ground ball sharply but foul to the right side off the bat of Will Adam, 3-2. Wolfing has struggled with control a little bit. He walked Henry Adam on 4 pitches and fell behind Will Adam 3-1. Now it's 3-2. But after striking out 5 in a row, the order flipped back around to the top of the order for the Ramblers, and Wolfing has kind of lost direction a little bit. Let's see what he does here. The 3-2. And another late swing and a ground ball foul off to the right. I think Will Adam, very defensive swing there, was able to just stay alive.
Yeah, Wolfing's velocity looks really good. He's still throwing really crisp. The balls are coming in hard. Looks as good velocity-wise as he did in the first inning. Looked like he struggled a little bit in the first, but really he's locked it in there in the middle part and just had a couple tough batters here.
Still 3-2. Again, the payoff. A little floater out towards second, and it'll be caught by Johnston to retire the side. No runs, no hits, 1 walk, 1 left for Packwood. Go to the bottom of the third. The Cubs leading the Ramblers 4-1 on 1240 AM, 102.7 FM, KBIZ, and the live video stream at AttumwaRadioSports.com. Very proud to be bringing you tonight's Ottumwa Little League City Championship game on the Ottumwa Radio Sports Network. Again, brought to you by JBS, making your world stronger. And the Cubs team all season long sponsored by Vaughn Automotive. They're located at 1311 Vaughn Drive in Ottumwa. All right, going to the bottom of the third. And Tatum Telfer, I wouldn't say he's pitched poorly per se. His defense has let him down. In fact, I have 3 of these 4 runs. And really probably all 4 of these runs would be unearned. So it's not a matter of Telfer not pitching well. I think he's had pretty good stuff, but his defense has made a couple of mistakes, and you talked about that in your semifinal game against this Packwood team, picking the wrong night to make a bunch of errors, and there's a long way to go in this one, but certainly Packwood's going to have to shore it up a little bit defensively if they want to hang in this game.
Yeah, and you get to, you're talking about 10, 11, and 12-year-old kids, and you get in the pressure of a championship game. It's easy to get tight. The majors, those guys, they make it look easy. But they've been doing it their whole lives. They've been in this situation multiple times. For some of these guys, this is their first time in that do or die situation, and it can be really nerve-wracking, and especially when you're 10. Not a lot of life experience. You just gotta experience it now, and the first time it can be tough.
I think sometimes with the kid, you hope that the phrase that he's too young, or he's not. I don't want to say dumb, but he's too young to know any better, to know what it's like, and sometimes being a little ignorant of that pressure can be helpful. But these kids, they were playing last week to get into this game, so they were dealing with that pressure last week as well. In that sense, there's nothing new, but as we've talked about, they all know that this game's being broadcast too, and and they don't want to go online afterwards and say, oh, I made a mistake, or I did that. They want to do well, so that's pressure too.
Oh yeah, and this is it. This is the last game of the season for these guys. There's after, other than All-Stars, this is it. So you gotta put it on the line tonight.
Harley Barnt leading off the bottom of the third for the Cubs, swings and fouls it back 0-1. Barnt popped out to short his first time up.
Harley's a pretty aggressive batter. I don't know there's too many pitches he's ever seen he did not like. So
he swings at this one and pops it up left side, and Packwood could have used a little better communication there, but Sabaski makes the catch, a shortstop in front of Bender, the third baseman, for out number 1. And you were right, Barnt was aggressive, and that was a pitch to hit, but he got a little out in front on it. So here's Aiden Robinson. He had a bases-loaded walk to drive in a run his first time up, swings and misses this time, 0-1. Telfer's next offering, swing and a miss, 0-2.
Telfer's really effective as he's starting to lock in on that outside corner. The strikes are coming in bunches now.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Robinson gone on 3 pitches for a quick second out, and that's strikeout number 4 for Tatum Telfer. That'll bring up Keaton Hilliard.
This actually.
Pardon me, we've got a pinch hitter.
Big John Harden.
John Harden standing in, and a big swing and a miss, strike 1. Let's get you a little info on Harden here. Big John Stud is what they call him on the team. He's 12 years old, outstanding size and power. We can see the size right down below us. Chased a high one there, 0-2. TJ says, keep your head on a swivel when he's at the plate. If he gets a hold of one, I can see why.
Big John's about 6'1", probably about 150, 160 pounds. When he hits the ball, it's going to go a long way.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. The ball popped out of the glove of the catcher, Adam, and then he one-hopped the throw to first. Will Adam couldn't handle it. Hilliard strikes out, but he reaches. I guess you'd have to call that a strikeout pass ball. That was right in his glove and
right
came
there.
out.
Yeah, just right off the tip of the glove. You got to watch that all the way in. Eyes got to stay locked in here.
And now another substitute here. Cade Francis is standing in. And I remember seeing this on TJ's lineup card that these guys are going to get a shot in these spots. Francis swings and misses, and he's down in the count 0-2, so I better quickly dig up his notes. When he pitches, a nasty curveball, does a great job changing speeds. He pops this one up, and that's going to get out of play. It'll stay 0-2. Now, you can see why he's a pitcher, because his favorite player is Trevor Bauer, who's one of my favorite pitchers in the league. And Bauer's a different cat, and I love that about him. That pitch rolled back to the mound. Telfer has it. Wheels throws to first, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, one left, and after 3, the Cubs still lead the Ramblers 4-1. Ottumwa Little League Baseball, the city championship game, brought to you by JBS, making your world stronger. We are live on 1240 AM, 102.7 FM KBIZ, and also a live video stream available at ottumwaradiosports.com. Corey Finch to my right, making sure the video stays on the air. Kyle Smith back at the KBIZ studios, making sure we stay on the air there. My name's Jason Van Arkel. I'm alongside Sam Long tonight, the president of Ottumwa Little League, ending up his first year as president, also the manager of the Mets. And I don't want to revisit why you're sitting up here and not down there, but I want to talk a little bit more about your kid, because I got to call your team's game on opening day, and your kid, you left him in all 6 innings. He might have struck out 18 batters. He was that good on opening day, and you were telling me about he kind of continued that success all season long.
Well, first of all, thanks for the compliment, Jason. He's a good ball player. He's a good boy. He works really hard to hone the craft. But, yeah, he had an excellent season this year. I'll dad brag a little bit. He had hit his first home run this year, walk-off grand slam. I told him, bud, you can't do any better than that. I guess it's all downhill from here. So, but yeah, great season. 96 strikeouts. Just had an amazing season. Doing it all. But the best part about it is he's just a great teammate, a great kid. And I've had a lot of good players this season. It's been fun.
No. You probably didn't want me to just single out your kid and as opposed to everybody else you had in your team. And your whole team was impressive. Again, an impressive win on opening day. Tatum Telfer at bat for the Ramblers here in the top of the 4th. He took strike 1 and then a pitch in the dirt, evens a count at a ball and a strike. Nehemiah Wolfing, the kick and the pitch. That's on the outside corner, 1-2. Wolfing gave up a triple to the first batter of the game, and since then he's only allowed 1 other base runner. That was on a 2-out walk in the 3rd. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, chased a high one. There's out number 1, and that is strikeout number 6 for Wolfing.
He has looked good tonight, Jason. Just staying around the zone, good velocity, making sure that those guys have to respect that any pitch could be over the plate at any point in time. Popped
up foul to the right side, and near the fence by the first base dugout. Maneri not quite able to get there and make the catch. Good effort by the Cubs catcher. Count is 0-1 to Caden Bender, who grounded to third his first time up. All right, as we're watching Wolfing pitch, normally I try to keep track of a pitch count. I could go back and do it, but I haven't been doing it actively, so I don't know exactly how many pitches Wolfing has. Obviously, there is a limit to how many he can throw. As that pitch is in the dirt, check swing, no swing, count even at a ball and a strike. What is the pitch count limit at this level?
At this level for 12-year-olds and 11-year-olds, he's going to be at 85 pitches for tonight. 10-year-olds are limited to 75. Those, of course, as you go different levels or different number of pitches thrown with Little League, that constitutes different numbers of days of rest. So with this being the last game of the season, you just go for it as a manager. You take your number 1, you put him out there, and you just say, you know what, you got 85, hit him.
Counts 1-2 on Bender, up and away. 2-2 the count to the Ramblers' third baseman. 1 out, nobody on, top 4. Cubs 4, Ramblers 1. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Wolfing. That's 7 in the game. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Carson Saboski, who struck out his first time up. Outfield shading him to pull just a little bit. The center fielder, Hilliard, a few steps over towards left center. First pitch and a liner into left field for a base hit. So Sabaski gets the second hit of the ball game for the Ramblers. 2-out opportunity perhaps for Packwood and the batter, Lathan Fritchen. At least he's due up. And it will be Fritchen coming to the plate.
Good defense by the Cubs on that play. Hard ball to the left fielder. Ball's in so quick to second base. I don't know if Sabaski made it to first before the ball got into the infield. That's good defense. That's good things to see at this level.
This pitch chopped up the right side foul into the grass for strike one, and that's a ball that if you're a defender, you got to go after. I'm sure we've both seen it from time to time. A ball with little English on it starts out foul, goes back fair. That's a fair ball.
Oh yeah, you got to go get it. Anything rolling close to the line, once it's foul, get to it, knock it foul. Don't give him that opportunity.
That pitch in the dirt goes to the backstop, and Sabaski with his speed takes second. Takes a turn, but he'll hang on there. A wild pitch out of the hand of Nehemiah Wolfing. The count even at 1-1 to Fritchen. Wolfing a deep breath. Comes set. And the pitch. Check swing, and that's called a strike anyway, 1-2. I'm pretty sure he went around.
Yeah, good work by the plate umpire. Not even having to look down and ask the first baseman for an appeal or anything like that. Just locked in and doing his job.
That pitch way high to the backstop, and it ricochets back to Maneri, picks it up with the bare hand, and he'll hold Sabaski at second base. Counts 2-2, and that's a nice play by Cam Maneri.
It is. That was a great play. And, with Little League where the runner can't leave the base until the ball crosses through the hitting zone, that does help out quite a bit about.
That pitch called strike three in the inside corner. And the inning is over. And once again, Nehemiah Wolfing has struck out the side. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Cubs still leading the Ramblers 4-1 in the Ottumwa Little League City Championship game. 1240 AM, 102.7 FM, KBIZ. Streaming online, live video stream at ottumwaradiosports.com, and brought to you by JBS, making your world stronger. All right, so after this game, Little League is over, but they're still all-stars. So kind of talk about the process for the kids as they move from this structure to that structure.
So for Little League, we at the end of the season, with a couple weeks left, we get all the major managers together. We go ahead and pick 10 all-stars. We give the first place manager at the major level gets to first choice of the all-star teams. TJ's Cubs won the league this year, so he chose to take the 12U A all-stars. So we'll get together as managers. We'll vote. Top 10 vote getters will go directly to the A team. After that, TJ gets he can take 2 or 3 extra coaches picks. And so as you look at this team right here, a lot of Cubs. Now 16-1, they deserve to have a lot of Cubs on that team. Me myself, I got Tucker Long, Samantha Weeks, great hitter, great player. She's amazing. She had 3 home runs this year. Probably one of the better power hitters in the league, and pitchers. She's a great player. From the trying to think off the top of my head, from the Cardinals, Dylan Forney made it. Great. Big kid, good arm, can do about anything on the field. You can catch him first base. Played a lot of short this year. Great pitcher, just a good solid player. I'm trying to think of the other guys that made it from the other teams, and I'm drawing a blank. You put me on the spot, Jason.
Well, that's fine. I wasn't expecting you to have the full list. You came up with more names than I was anticipating. But once they're selected for the team, then where do they go? What do they do? Where do they play? Who they play? When they play? So
we'll go through the districts. Monroe County, Davis County, American Little League has a 12U team. Fox River out of Van Buren, and Lucas County will play a 9-tournament single or double elimination tournament. Each night's in a different town, and you just play till you lose 2. And the goal is obviously to get there without losing 2. Last year, I had the privilege of coaching the 10-year-old All-Stars team from Ottumwa Little League. We lost our first game. Put you in the losers bracket. You're playing every night after that, 6 nights in a row. And 6 nights in a row we played, and 6 nights in a row we won. And by the end of it, we got the opportunity to go to the state, play for the state championship. great week of play. Ooh, looks like we might have an injured player out here.
Yeah, I'm looking down the right field line, and Will Adam, their first baseman. Not sure what happened. He walked down that right field line, is being attended to by a coach, and the umpire down there was looking at him as well, but looks like he'll be okay. And coach also checking on Caden Bender, the third baseman.
I think we might have had an errant throw from third base during warm-ups that caught him, but it looks like everybody's okay and we're ready to play some ball.
All right, well, kids are tough. They'll shake it off. Here's Wolfing, who has singled and scored and has struck out. And a roller right side weighted back nicely on an off-speed pitch. And that ball takes a tough hop and gets past the right fielder Brown. Wolfing headed for second. The throw not in time. So Wolfing has his second hit. Sam, you're my official score. Single and an error or a double? But that ball did take a tough hop.
I'll tell you what, that took a tough hop, and knowing the speed of Nehemiah Wolfing, I'd almost give him a double on that because I think he's sinking 2 out of the gate when he saw the right fielder reach for it.
So we'll give him a 2-base hit, and that brings up Cam Maneri. Pitch downstairs for ball 1.
Now these two teams played earlier in this season, and they played one of the best games the league had this year. They played a 10-7 or a 10-6 9-inning shootout.
Ooh.
A lot of pitching used up that night,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
with the pitch count.
Oh yeah, my goodness. And then you've got kids have to rest so many days.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss 1 and 2.
Packwood used Saboski and Telfer that night for 85. That's 4 days. So basically for the rest of the calendar week, you're out of pitching. So you were putting it all on the line for that one game.
Pitch comes in high, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Maneri. So 10-6. The Cubs, I assume, won
Yes.
at the end. So they went 16-1. Who beat the Cubs this
Actually,
year?
Packwood did.
Okay.
Packwood caught him early.
So this might be call this the rubber match. That pitch up high all the way to the backstop. Wolfing will race to third without a throw. Wild pitch, 3-2 to Maneri.
I'll tell you, we had a couple really good games against the Cubs this year. We played a 4-3 8-inning game over at the Bridgeview Fields early in the season. Played really well, and then came down here, lost to them 7-4 in another tight ball game. Again, defense. You got to have it against these good teams. They're going to get you, especially a team that hits like the Cubs do, and they got us that night.
Pitch on the outside corner is a called strike 3 to Maneri, and he's gone for out number 1, a strikeout that Telfer needed. Now here's Nolan Heller, who rolls it past the mound. That'll get the run home. Bobbled at second, and the throw to first not in time. So Heller will get an RBI. He reaches on the error by Lisk. Scoring is Wolfing, would have scored even with the clean play, and it is 5-1 Cubs.
Telfer's not getting a lot of help from his defense tonight, and that's tough. You have one turns into two turns into 4. It seems at this level that errors are contagious.
And another pitch in the dirt, and that gets away, allowing Heller to advance to second on a wild pitch. Ball 1 to William Hilliard, who's 1 for 2 with an RBI single and has reached on an error. Left-handed batting, Hilliard stands in, not wearing batting gloves. That pitch in there for a strike, 1-1.
A little bit of a Mark Grace throwback there.
I like the reference. I like it.
Going back, no batting gloves. The only thing to make it better is if you had a wood bat.
That pitch up and in, and the count 2-1. Nolan Heller, the runner at second. Cubs have a run home here in the bottom of the 4th. They lead Packwood 5-1. Pitch is high, 3-1. The error committed by Lisk, the 4th of the night, committed by Packwood. And here's Telfer's pitch. At the knees, strike 2. Three balls, 2 strikes.
4 innings pitch coming into this 4th inning pitch. Telfer's starting to look like he's laboring a little bit. It's hot. It's a muggy night. I can see why.
That pitch right down Broadway, strike 3. Like maybe Hilliard was looking for something off speed, got the express instead, out number 2. That's a big strikeout for Telfer as he tries to minimize the damage here in the bottom of the 4th. That brings up Griffin Johnston 0 for 2, a fielder's choice and a strikeout. And he fouls this one sharply off to the right and well out of play.
Almost got it in the neighbor's yard over there. That's pretty impressive.
Hit that one over the levee. for strike one. I think I can hear off in the distance another train rolling by. We can see the train tracks from our perch in the crow's nest here. Roller to the right side, fielded cleanly by the first baseman Adam, steps on the bag. And the side is retired. Cubs get a run on a hit and an error. They leave none after 4. Cubs 5, Ramblers 1. The Ottumwa Little League City Championship game on the Ottumwa Radio Sports Network, brought to you by JBS, making your world stronger. Trying to get the current hit totals for both teams here as going back through the scorebook.
TJ Heller's got a tough decision this inning. Packwood's seen Nehemiah Wolfing, I believe, 2 times through the lineup now. Looks like he's coming into about the bottom half of the lineup here. This is kind of that decision time as a manager of do you stick with your gun that's got you here this far, or do you start looking to the bullpen and see who you bring in next?
We'll see if there's a substitution here. Not for the moment. Wolfing is still on the mound for the Cubs. They're checking pitch count. I think I heard them say 62 for Telfer through 4 innings. Not sure what Wolfing's is. I could give you an estimate here if Sam, you can make up something to talk about for a moment while I count pitches here.
Yeah, I'm looking at, actually, Jason, I'm thinking Wolfing's got to be in that mid-60s. He's been efficient, maybe even a little bit more efficient than Telfer. He hasn't had the errors behind him, so that helps. I know one of the pitchers for my team, Samantha Weeks, she went through a 6-inning game in 71 pitches. Defense was good that night, and she's got the ability to throw just a lot of good, just to get a lot of bad contact, and when you can get those quick outs, especially in Little League, you can have a pitcher run that whole 6 innings, but it's tough at an 85 pitch limit.
Gannon Griner rolls it slowly past the mound, fielded and throw to first in time. Nice quick play by Johnston for out number 1. And Sam, you thought that Nehemiah might be in the low 60s? That was, if my totals are correct, that was pitch number 61.
Nice.
You're right on it.
He's having a good night. Defense is good, solid behind him. He's getting a lot of quick outs, 1 pitch out here. You love, as a manager in Little League, when you're talking pitch counts and your starters, you love a 1-2 pitch at bat.
Got a pinch hitter here. Brogan Spray will stand in the number 8 spot for Packwood, and he takes strike 1 from Wolfing. Spray, his manager, Calder Bender, says he's easily coached. He'll play anywhere he puts him, and he's a hard hitter. Black and green bat in his hands, white batting gloves, swing and a miss. And the count 0-2 to Spray.
And it's tough. It's tough for, he's coming in as a sub. You got a pitcher dominating on the mound tonight, and then you got to come in cold and just be ready to hit. That's a tough spot to be in.
Checked his swing, and he went around strike 3, ball in the dirt. Spray hustling to first, and the throw dropped by Heller, and Spray reaches. So both teams have had a runner reach in that fashion.
Looks like he just took his eyes off of it right at that last minute. I kind of see that head come up. Coach TJ Heller letting his boys know, hey, it's just time to get focused, get back into it. Don't let that 1 turn into 2.
Here's Dylan Lisk, big swing and a miss by the Ramblers second baseman, strike 1. Lisk struck out his first time up. 9 strikeouts now for Wolfing, but he didn't get an out on that one. That pitch low and away, and the count evens at a ball and a strike. And you're talking, we talked about, getting the 1 or 2 pitch outs, lowering the pitch count. Well, what we just saw there raises that pitch count. You get a strikeout, but don't get an out from it.
Yeah, that's a challenge. And Little League's opened up a few years ago, brought in the drop third strike, and that's really put a premium at the catcher position.
Pitch fouled off. Good poke by Lisk to stay alive at 1-2.
One of our losses this season came in a situation where I had, I had my pitchers on a pitch count, my Samantha and Tucker on a 35 pitch count, and 3 drop third strikes from your catcher. That adds up to about 12 wasted pitches. And
throw down to first, and they've got Spray and a rundown. The flip to the second baseman who makes the tag, and that's the 3rd out.
I think that's only 2.
Or is that only 2?
That's only 2.
That's only 2. Well, they were all running off the field. Fooled me. That's only the 2nd out, so he's picked off 2 to 3 to 4. It was Johnston making the tag.
Nice arm. Strong arm from Maneri, getting it down to first quick. Just caught him sleeping.
And a swing and a miss by Lisk, strike 3, and that ends the inning. So the base running gaff, if you will, erasing the drop third strike. Nothing across for the Ramblers. We go to the bottom of the fifth inning. Cubs in control 5-1 in the Ottumwa Little League City Championship game on 1240 AM, 102.7 FM KBIZ, and live video stream on OttumwaRadioSports.com. Jason Van Arkel, Sam Long with you tonight. I am just the broadcaster. Sam is not only the manager of the Little League Mets this year, but also the president of Ottumwa Little League. Corey Finch is our on-site video producer, and Kyle Smith is manning the controls back at the KBIZ studios. Well, if I heard correctly, Tatum Telfer had 62 pitches through 4 innings. So he's fine to come out for the bottom of the fifth. And given that he's their ace, you would presume if he has an efficient inning, he might be in line to pitch the sixth as well if the Ramblers come back.
Yeah, no, I definitely see them riding him out. He's looked good tonight. Again, defense is everything in this league, especially in these tough games. And when you get two, A+ teams out there, you've got a 13-4 or a 13-3 team during the regular season, a 16-1 team. When you get teams like that, you just have to play that error-free baseball during the evening. You get in that situation, again, 1 turns into 2, 2 turns into 3, and bad things happen when you don't get the outs.
And the Packwood Ramblers, by our count, 4 errors in this game. 1 run, 2 hits, 4 errors. The Cubs, 5 runs on 4 hits. They've not committed an error as Barnt fouls it back 0-1. Harley Barnt has popped out to short twice, so I'm thinking he'd like to hit the ball somewhere else this time.
Yeah, I'm thinking the way he swings and as aggressive of a batter as he's looking for that left field line, something fierce.
The wind by the lefty Telfer in the 0-1. And he lifts it down the left field line. This ball will
nice play.
Be caught.
Nice play.
A basket catch at the knees by Lathan Fritchen.
Hey, great job, good hustle. Playing him straight up, maybe a couple steps towards left field line. Gets on his horse and makes a great play.
Now, that's likely the defensive play of the night, certainly is so far. Here's Aiden Robinson. Low and away, ball 1. Robinson has walked and struck out, hasn't put a ball in play yet. That walk was an RBI walk in the 3-run first. Swing and a miss, chased 1 high and away. Count evens at a ball and a strike. How hard is it, and I saw this more in the AAA game than the Majors game, but I've seen it a little bit here. How hard is it to teach a kid to not instinctively put their foot in the bucket and kind of back away as they swing? Because that seems like a natural reaction.
With these guys, and of course it depends on the pitcher. You get a little bit of a softer arm pitcher. They'll be a little bit more aggressive. You see a lot of it at the 10-year-olds. They see these big 12-year-olds that have the good velocity. They get a little timid. But it's just repetition. Ground
ball off the third baseman. Bender picked up by the pitcher, throw to first, not in time. Boy, Telfer made that play close.
Really close. That was great. That's good work right there. Tough play. You're talking 60-foot bases, a good hit ball. 1 hop, it's on you in no time. For the third baseman, that's a do or die play.
The batter now, Big John Harden, who struck out but reached on a passed ball in the 3rd inning in his first at-bat. He takes ball 1 here. And he hits this one foul back to the screen, evens the count at a ball and a strike. That ball, that sharp grounder off the bat of Robinson came up and it hit the third baseman, Caden Bender, in the left forearm, and he's still rubbing that a little bit. He's frustrated he didn't make the play, but that also hurt.
Yeah, that was on him quick. And it's 60-foot bases, hard hit ball, right on you. He was playing a couple steps in front of the bag. He didn't have a lot of time. I mean, that kind of hit, it's so do or die at Little League.
Pitch inside off the glove of the catcher, Adam, down to second goes Robinson. I think that has to be a passed ball. So now a runner in scoring position for the Cubs, trying to pad their 5-1 lead. The next pitch. Outside, boy, that one was close. Did not get the call there. 2-2 to Harden.
Nice curve ball, looked like about a half ball off the plate. Good pitch, tough one to lay off if you're the batter in this situation.
Now the 2-2 to Harden. Swing and a missed strike 3. Challenged him, and Harden swung through it for out number 2. And that'll bring up Luke Thompson will bat again. He batted in the first inning, bounced into a fielder's choice. Cade Francis hitting that spot in the third, but he will not see Telfer as this young man's night on the mound has come to an end. And Henry Adam will now pitch. Saboski is now catching.
A little bit of a snowball fight out here. Throw a ball into the outfield, throw a ball past the pitcher. You got always a tough thing for a coach. You know, you got those. You want to make that play every time. You get a little bit of a snowball fight, and that can drive a coach crazy, Jason.
I can imagine. So Henry Adam, left-handed pitcher.
We seen him earlier in the season when we played Packwood the first time. Henry's going to bring a lot of strikes. He's going to stay around the zone. Good fastball, doesn't really have a secondary pitch yet. He's pretty young, but he's going to bring it, and he's going to bring good quality strikes. He's not going to give up a lot of walks. He's going to go out there and do his job. He's going to give the Cubs a chance to put the ball in play, but hopefully the Packwood defense just keeps doing what they're doing and gets him out of this inning pretty quick.
Will Adam will move to shortstop. And Tatum Telfer is now at first base. So that should complete the defensive changes for Packwood. And here is Luke Thompson. He swings and misses at the first offering from Henry Adams, strike one. So Telfer threw 4 2/3 innings tonight. Swing and a miss by Thompson, 0-2. And I've only got one of the 5 runs allowed, or that the Cubs have scored. Only one of those runs was an earned run. Late swing and a miss, strike 3 to Thompson, and Henry Adam comes in, puts out the fire. No runs, no hits, an error, and a man left. After 5, Cubs on the doorstep of a city championship. They lead Packwood 5-1. The Ottumwa Little League City Championship game on the Ottumwa Radio Sports Network, broadcasting on the air on 1240 AM, 102.7 FM KBIZ, and a live video stream on OttumwaRadioSports.com. Brought to you by JBS, making your world stronger. We've reached twilight or dusk or whatever you want to call it here. The lights here have taken pretty much full effect now. And Nehemiah Wolfing on for the 6th inning. We'll try to finish this one off. If my count is correct, I've got him at 70.
70, yeah. Oh, then I would anticipate TJ running him out the rest of this inning. As well as he's looked, he's only given up 1 run after that leadoff triple, and then a ground ball to get the run home. He's really locked in. Cubs defense has been good, helping him out. But he's been around the plate. He's taken advantage of that outside corner, and really made it a struggle on these right-handed batters to just lock in and get something in play and get some in play hard.
One thing, and if you're watching on the live video stream, you can see this. Wolfing does not line up, and he pitches from the stretch all the time, but he doesn't line up straight on like a normal pitcher does. He's got that front foot kind of off towards the first base line a little bit. I've seen a right-hander or two in my time pitch that way. I don't think I've ever seen a lefty pitch that way before, but he's been very effective. If you're Packwood, you've got the top of the order, best you could hope for. Here in the top of the 6th inning, trying to rally from a 5-1 deficit. Henry Adam takes ball 1. Adam tripled and scored in the first and walked in the third. He's the only batter in the order that Wolfing hasn't retired yet. That pitch misses away, 2-0. Get the feeling Wolfing doesn't want to come inside on Adam again after that leadoff triple in the first?
No, and he's, as a lefty, and there he comes inside right there. But as a lefty, with these guys, you're pretty effective if you can stay on that outside corner. Little league kids at this age, they struggle a little bit on the outside pitch. 2
balls and a strike, and this pitch popped up right side. Will it be playable? Oh, no, not quite, as Heller and Maneri converge and thankfully didn't run into each other as that ball dropped between them just out of reach. Count even at 2-2 to Henry Adam. Ramblers in the red jerseys with the white trim and the black pants. Cubs in the blue jerseys. Gold lettering trimmed in red, gold numbers. White pants with the blue trim. 2-2 pitch, over but low, 3-2. That walk Adam took in the third is the only free pass that Wolfing has issued in this game. Full count here. Be big for Packwood to get the leadoff man on. The 3-2, way outside, ball 4. Well,
looks like TJ Heller's coming out, calling time. This may be the pitch and change.
He's going to bring the whole infield in for a conference here, and
he's going to bring in. It looks like he's bringing in William Hilliard. Will's a 12-year-old, another lefty. Obviously, he's seen something with Packwood that the lefties seem to have their number. Will's another one of the A All-Stars. He's going to come in. He's going to give you good, solid pitches, and he is going to command the outside corner. Not one to come in on you very much, but you're going to see a lot of stuff middle out with this guy.
It makes for a simple change as Wolfing will simply go out to center field. And William Hilliard will come in and try to get the final 3 outs. Henry Adam at first. You know, he's had a good day at the plate, reached all 3 times. Triple, walk, and another walk. And so Wolfing throws 5 innings plus a batter. Allowed just 1 run on 2 hits. He's responsible for the runner at first. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 strikeouts.
Nice night.
In a city championship game.
Nice night.
You know, there's a debate as to whether or not clutch is actually a thing. And in terms of, you know, clutch hits in certain spots and whatnot, I'm not sure what to believe. I'll tell you what, you show up for a city championship game and strike out 10, that's clutch.
That's real clutch. Great night. Looked good from the word go. Obviously, you know, Henry Adam got around on that first inside pitch, got a leadoff triple, but after that, domination through and through.
And now 1 on, nobody out in the top of the 6th, and here's Will Adam, who's had an RBI ground out and a pop out to second. Hilliard's first pitch. On the outside corner for a called strike.
This will be interesting here. Packwood's in a good spot in their lineup to make something happen.
Bunt shown, bunted out and missed. Ball in the dirt. Runner trying to go to second. Throw down, not in time. Oh, it hits the leg of the second baseman Johnston and bounces away, and that will allow Adam to round third, but he'll put on the brakes there. Well, Maneri fired down there, and a bit of miscommunication there for the Cubs. Neither middle infielder really got to second base, and Maneri, I think, kind of got caught in between on his throw. Johnston, that ball hit him in the ankle, and it stung. The pitch was in the dirt, so we go wild pitch and then a throwing error on the catcher. Pitch is inside and low. Now, he did swing at that pitch that was in the dirt, so it's 1-2. That error is the first one committed by the Cubs tonight. It may end up costing them a run, man, at third, nobody out, but right now that run doesn't mean much. It's 5-1 Cubs in the 6th. Swing and a miss, strike 3, ball in. Nope, not in the dirt. Will Adams started to run, but the ruling was that pitch was caught cleanly for out number 1. That'll bring up Tatum Telfer. He has grounded out and struck out. Lefty-lefty matchup here. Hilliard's pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1. Packwood still debating whether or not that pitch was caught cleanly. Here's the 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Telfer digs back in. Lefty looking for his first hit of the night, looking to drive in a run. The pitch fouled off to the left and off the netting above the fence. Telfer down in the count, 1-2. Cubs 2 outs away. Packwood, the Ramblers, trying to rally. The 1-2. Downstairs, 2-2.
Just missed on that pitch. That's a tough pitch to take when you've got 2 outs in a situation like this. You got to be thinking, I got to get this bat moving. I got to make something happen here. So for him to take that pitch, that's.
I think the fact that Maneri turned the glove over and made the basket catch on it kind of indicated it was low, but he catches that pitch on the outside corner. That's a called strike 3, and there's 2 down. For Packwood, it's up to Caden Bender, who was grounded out and struck out. And I hope that that left forearm's okay. You can see a red mark on it. He took that ground ball off that forearm last inning. Hopefully he can still swing all right. First pitch. In the dirt, gets away, and not far enough away for Henry Adam to think about scoring. Ball 1 to Bender.
Yeah, you're in a situation right now where you You want to get those runs in, make something happen, but at the same time, you don't want to roll the dice with 2 outs and you're down to your last out in this situation.
And we saw that a little bit in the AAA championship game. That pitch is on the inside corner for a called strike. The Pirates were down 4 runs and had a runner get picked off first base.
Yeah, and
in the final inning.
And that was the name of their game. I mean, they're an aggressive team when they get the Pirates, when they get runners on, they like to roll the dice, and they lived and died by that tonight in the game. 2 pickoffs tonight in that AAA championship game, and you kind of pick your poison. If that's the way you play all year, on the last game of the season, you don't want to change what you do.
Very true. 2 balls and a strike now to Bender as the last pitch came in high. Hilliard's next offering, high again, 3-1. Right now, if you are Packwood, a walk is as good as a hit. You need base runners. Down 5-1, 2 outs, top of the 6th. Man at third, 3-1. That's low, ball 4. So since coming on, Hilliard has struck out 2 and walked 1. No one's put a ball in play on him yet. That brings up the catcher, Carson Sabaski, who's 1 for 2 with a single. One of only 2 Packwood hits. The tying run is now on deck for Packwood. First pitch. Popped foul, backing out of play, 0-1.
Interesting situation here for Packwood. You've got a runner on first and a runner on third. You got 2 outs. You're down to your last out. Do you send that runner and try to get him to second, or do you leave him there and just roll the dice that your hitters are going to get the job done? I
might do the softball type thing, maybe go a third of the way, and if they throw through, go back and try to get that runner home. And anyway, here's a chopper to the side of the mound. Hilliard bobbles it, won't have a play. Ball game still alive. Scoring is Henry Adam, and it is 5-2. As Sabaski reaches on the air by the pitcher. And now the tying run will come to the plate, and it's the big kid, Lathan Fritchen. He's struck out twice, but he's got a chance here. They need to fix the scoreboard. They give that run to the Cubs. Or actually, there's an extra run up there for both teams. No, it's 5-2, right?
5-2.
Yeah.
Should be 5-2.
Pitch misses high to Fritchen, ball 1. I hope down on the field they know that. That pitch in the dirt, 2-0.
Hilliard looks like he's getting a little tense here in this tough situation. You got to get 1 out, coming out throwing 2 balls after the bobble. You got to, with kids this age, sometimes you just got to tell them, hey, just take a breath, relax.
2 balls, no strikes. The next offering. That one missed low, 3-0. Right now, Hilliard has to feel like he's trying to throw to a strike zone the size of a postage stamp. Not actually, but that's how it feels right now. He's having trouble finding it.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be tough. High-pressure situations, you got to be ready.
3-0 on the inside corner, strike 1. Sluggers count now for Fritchen. First and second, 2 down, a run home. 5-2 is the Cubs' lead. The pitch. That is a letter-high strike, and it's 3-2, and now Packwood down to its final strike. Don't blame Fritchen. That ball might have been a little higher than he wanted to swing at. You can be selective, 3-1. Not so on 3-2. The payoff in the dirt, ball 4. So after Hilliard struck out the first 2 batters, he saw a walk, an error, and another walk, and they are loaded for Gannon Greiner. Greiner has struck out and grounded out, and manager T.J. Heller heading back out to the mound. What does he want to do here?
I think you just come out, you tell him, hey, take a deep breath, talk about anything other than what's coming up. In a reference to the great movie Bull Durham, you just kind of ask, hey, what do you think about the wedding present? Maybe candlesticks, a nice table setting, something like that. You just get their minds off the situation right now. If you start talking baseball or pitch or what you got to do, you're just going to tense them up. You got to ask, hey, what's for supper tonight? What are we doing here? You just got to free the mind for a minute.
Go out there, just say, hey, we're going to get ice cream afterwards. It's fine.
Yeah, anything but baseball at this point in time.
Well, here's Greiner, and he would be the go-ahead run. Breaking ball strike, 0-1.
Here you go. Good job for Hilliard right there. Come back after a couple tough batters. Come back, get that first pitch strike, which is so big in Little League and in any level of baseball.
The 0-1, that missed high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Caden Bender at third, Carson Sabaski at second, Lathan Fritchen at first, Gannon Griner at the plate, Packwood, which is where Pekin is. Packwood is keeping their season alive in this inning. That pitch outside, 2-1. Maneri tried to frame that. I love that a catcher at this level is adopting pitch framing.
He's a great catcher. He's a great catcher. He catches for us at the Titans. Just a strong arm, good kid, knows the game, great defensive catcher.
2-1. Swing and a miss, 2-2. And again, Packwood down to its final strike. Can the Ramblers somehow keep this going?
You know, you kind of feel for the batter right here. You know, he's a little kid and he wants it so bad, and you want the best for him.
The 2-2 fouled it back, stayed alive.
Staying alive, yeah. His heart's got to be going a mile a minute right now. Just that big opportunity right now, bases loaded.
But I would think that if he can maybe foul off another pitch or two, that starts to calm him down a little bit. And the longer an at-bat goes, the more it favors the batter. 2-2 to Griner. The pitch. Roll to the right side, through for a base hit. One run is in, second runner coming around, and a two-run single for Griner. Third runner trying to score. He's going to be out at the plate, and that's how the Cubs win. Final score is 5-4.
Wow.
A one-run win, and Packwood battled to the end, and maybe Sam just got a touch too greedy on the final play.
Yeah, you know what? You're looking at you hit that situation, that runner's crossing third. You know they're looking at that guy going into second, and you roll the dice there. You roll the dice, and the Cubs make that 10% play. You know, you're looking at a good relay from right field and then a strong throw from the back of the grass to home plate to make that tag. That's a 10% play, and in those tough situations, you got to roll the dice. I don't fault him at all for taking the chances on that.
So the Vaughn Automotive Cubs are the Ottumwa Little League Majors City Champions. Packwood, a very worthy runner up the scoreboard, and they just turned it off anyway. It said 5-3, but 2 runs scored on that final play. It was 5-4, and that was the tying run coming down the line. I know it's aggressive, and I know you're going for it. The only thing maybe I question is that the relay throw on that hit, well, they came into second base, and it stopped Griner from going to second. And I think what Packwood was thinking there was and I didn't see who made the relay. I assume it was the shortstop, Barnes.
Bart made Harley made a great play there. You know, I think as a manager, you're thinking, hey, he's got his back turned to third base. We've got guys in motion. Let's keep him in motion and see in this situation what can we do. You got to look at where they're coming up in the order. You know, Mike Telfer on third base, he's got to say, hey, who's that next guy up? How does he look against this pitcher? And
you had the 8th spot in the order coming up, so that's not your strongest hitter, certainly. The one thing, and we'll give credit to Bart here because you say he had the back turn. He had his back turn. He turned to look at third, and I think he was thinking, okay, maybe I can cut down that runner going second to third because the runner thrown out at the plate was Fritchen. And I don't think Fritchen had quite gotten to third when that ball got to second. So Bart, on a heads-up move, turns around to look at third, sees a kid round third, and then is able to make, the strong throw from second to home, and he's out by 15 feet. But even then, Fritchen nearly danced around and got to the plate.
Yeah, I think Cameron Maneri made 3 different tags on trying to get him before he finally got a hold of the runner at home. So
what an exciting finish. The Ramblers get up off the mat. They hadn't had anything since scoring the first run of the game. They get up off the mat. They score 3 in the top of the 6th inning, get within a run, but on that same play, the tying run is cut down at the plate. And, like you said, you've been in Ottumwa Little League a long time. How have you ever had an exciting finish, as exciting a finish to a championship game as this one?
You know, actually, Jason, I know it sounds funny, but the last 3 city championships we have all came down to a play at the end of it. Every one of these have been that last minute a play. I think 4 years ago it was a runner on third, a throwback to the pitcher, and a gun for home. I mean, just on a coming home on a throwback. I can't remember what it was 2 years ago, but everyone's been tight right up until the end. Packwood, hey, great job. Hats off to Packwood tonight. You're down by 4. You can turn it. You can throw in the towel and just let it happen. You're down. It's tough. The pitcher you've been seeing has been doing, Nehemiah Wolfing, would you say 10 strikeouts, had done a great job. You can be in that situation, but you come back here at the end, you make it a game, you put everything on the line, and you just come up short on a great play. You can't feel guilty about that. You can't feel like you left anything behind.
So in the end, the final score is the Vaughn Automotive Cubs 5 and the Packwood Ramblers 4 in an exciting Ottumwa Little League City Championship game. And right now they're giving out the medals, and Packwood receiving the runner-up medals. And those kids, they look kind of disappointed, and obviously there's disappointment. And I can relate, because this takes me back to my Little League days. And the last Little League game I ever played was a league championship game. We lost by 1 run.
Yeah, it's
We lost
tough.
by 1 run. And then, and just a bit of an ironic twist to it, many years later, my daughter plays softball and got into her first season. They got into the league championship game and lost by 1 run at the same age I was at. So apparently, and you said the last few games are exciting. This is nothing new. These kids put together exciting games, especially when they've got something on the line.
Oh, yeah, and that's the best part about it. You get these kids, and as coaches, you spend that whole season with them. You're starting in March with practices, April opening day. You're going to play, here we are, a week away from July. And so you've spent the good part of the spring and the early part of the summer with these guys, and into all the hours of practice and development and all these things and all the teaching that you're doing as a coach. It's for the Cubs, it's for TJ, it's a special moment to get to hand out those trophies to your kids on this big night like tonight. For Packwood, those coaches, they got to hold their heads high. They've done a great job with this team. Just a great team, a fun team to play against all season. We played them 3 times, got them twice. They got us when it kind of meant most, and it's baseball, and nothing's better than baseball.
Nothing's better than baseball. And you got to imagine that the kids from Packwood, they're coming down to Ottumwa to play. They're a little bit of the outsiders coming in, feeling like they had something to prove. Whether they won or lost tonight, they'd already proven themselves clearly in this league over the course of the season, and they certainly showed a lot of moxie tonight.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Some defensive miscues kind of cost them early on. Got them behind. It's tough when you get behind, especially in these high-pressure games, but they came out, played hard. I mean, you're down 5-1 going into the last inning, and you make it. You end the game at 5-4, and the tying runs rounding third, taking a shot at home. I mean, it's baseball. It's just beautiful to watch the game, watch the kids play, the fun, the learning. And the best part about it is win or lose in these situations. That team over there at Packwood, they didn't win tonight, but those guys are going to know each other for the rest of their lives. They're going to be friends. When they're my age and in their 40s and stuff and running into each other, they're going to tell stories about this game tonight. The Cubs, same thing here. These guys, these are guys the rest of your life. These guys are the guys that, again, you run into them 20 years later, you're going to talk about a story about the city championship game back in 2018.
And one little added bonus for these kids, when they're talking about it years from now, they want to remember what happened. Maybe the memory gets a little fuzzy. Go onto YouTube, or then go on to OttumwaRadioSports.com, where I have this live video stream archived, and you can go back and watch this anytime. And it's been a real privilege to carry not only tonight, but we did, the triple header on opening day as well. We had a lot of fun bringing the Ottumwa Little League, the beginning and the end of the season, to you here on the Ottumwa Radio Sports Network. Sam, thanks for sitting in with us. Congratulations on getting through a successful first year as league president, and had a lot of fun tonight. It's a lot of fun.
Hey, thanks, Jason. And again, from us to Ottumwa Radio, thank you so much for giving these kids the opportunity to be on TV, to be on the radio, to have that memory that they're never going to forget. It's just been awesome, and it's still, opening day still gets talked about today, and we're 3 months later.
We are, and you know what? I don't make all the executive decisions and everything, but if I have my way, we'll be sitting over at the Bridgeview Field next April doing it all again.
Well, next year you'll have to sit back up here because we alternate fields every year. So
okay.
Opening day will be here at the Midwest at the Union Park Fields next year. So, yeah, we'll save you a spot. Hopefully the weather's better.
I hope so.
And if it's not, we'll get a tarp here for the back.
I like that. I like
wind
that.
will be cold.
This is a good place to sit. I have to say I like sitting here and doing the game a little bit better than over at Bridgeview. Got a little more room here, and And again, the weather's better too.
Yeah,
so it's hard to argue with that.
You can't beat the weather. But again, thank you guys so much for coming out. Thanks for Ottumwa Radio for giving these kids the opportunity, and even better, the idea, not just being on the radio, but that this is on YouTube, and nothing ever leaves the YouTube.
No.
So this is something they can come back to a year, 5 years, 10 years from now, and come back to this moment, and you know, Lord willing, YouTube sticks around long enough, maybe they can show their kids when their kids are in Little League at this age.
Maybe they can, and we will have a link to the video archive of this game. We're going to upload it to YouTube, and then we'll have a link to that on our sports website, AttumwaRadioSports.com. All right, let's thank JBS one more time. They sponsored this tonight. JBS, making your world stronger. We tip our cap to the runners-up, the valiant runners-up, the Packwood Ramblers, and we tip our cap. If you're watching on the video, you can see down below at home plate, getting their pictures taken. Ottumwa Little League Majors city champions, the Vaughn Automotive Cubs. They win it tonight in thrilling fashion over the Ramblers, 5-4. For Kyle Smith back at the studios of 1240 AM, 102.7 FM KBIZ. For Corey Finch, doing a great job monitoring the video broadcast, the live video stream on AttumwaRadioSports.com. And for Sam Long, Ottumwa Little League president, my name's Jason Van Arkel, and I want to end the way I always do. I want to thank you, the fans, for tuning in tonight, because without your support of these broadcasts and of all these great Little League players, this wouldn't be possible. So thank you for tuning into the Ottumwa Little League City Championship game on the Ottumwa Radio Sports Network. On behalf of all of us at Ottumwa Radio and on behalf of everybody with Ottumwa Little League, good night, everybody.